Alright guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make a quick little loop in GarageBand using just the virtual instruments. Alright guys, so today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to make a little 4-bar phrase here in GarageBand. So first things first, we're going to start a new project. Down here we've got tempo, key signature, and time signature, which we really don't need to do anything with right now. The input device and output device are both my Volt 476, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit choose. Alright, now it's asking me to create a new track, and we're going to choose from a MIDI instrument, which is what I'm going to use over here, my Akai, which is going to control the virtual instruments. You also have a drummer, a virtual drummer, which is a lot of fun to play around with. Mic or line, if I were to want to record my voice directly into GarageBand, do some singing, or record an acoustic instrument or whatever, I would use this selection. Or if I have maybe a synthesizer or something like that, a sound source like that, a line level instrument, that would go here. And then finally a guitar or bass, a real electric guitar or bass. I would also connect that to the Volt 476, but GarageBand wants to know what the source is. So what we're doing today is just a simple MIDI instrument. So I'll select that, hit create, and there we go. I'll maximize the screen. So here we go. This is our blank GarageBand canvas, and just a quick tour of what we're looking at here. On the upper left hand side, we've got the file for our virtual instruments. You can open and close those files right there. They're laid out really cleanly, easy to move around here, navigate through your different instruments, and like anything else, you can just kind of make these fields, these regions, bigger, smaller, whatever. Next to that is just a little help button if you need help. Next to that are a couple of buttons here. These have to do with the controls of your tracks. The first one opens and closes the control for the instrument that you've got queued up. In this case, we've got this grand organ, so we've got the pull bars down here, and there's probably chorus and things like that also. Next to that is a little pen, and when you click on that, you can go through and see what you've recorded on each track. So in this case, there's nothing there, but there's a piano roll or a score, and I'll show you that later on. And you can also do your quantizing here, which I'll show you a little bit later as well. And then moving on to the right from there, you've got just regular transport controls: rewind, fast forward, go to end is what that one is, stop, play, record. And then this next to the record is what they call the cycle. It's really like a loop button, I guess. When you click on that, you'll see this yellow bar shows up. I'm going to get rid of this so we don't confuse you. This yellow bar shows up, and what this means is that it's going to just, when you hit play or record, it's going to just loop this area here. And it's super helpful for when you're recording, or if you need to rehearse stuff, you can kind of move it around. You can make it shorter or longer, whatever you need it for. So for right now, since we're just going to do 4 bars, I'm going to shorten that down to 4 bars, and we'll get into that in just a moment. And then we keep going, and we've got our time here, we've got our tempo. You can just click and drag this up and down for tempo. I do that. We're going to actually record at 120, but we'll probably slow the whole thing down. I've also got a time signature here and a key signature as well. This is grayed out, but this is a tuning fork. If you're dealing with an instrument, you can tune it right there. This is your count in, 1, 2, 3, 4 in, because I'm in 4. If I was in 3, it would just be 3. If it was 6, it would go to 6, but I'm in 4, so it's going to give me 4 count. And then this is the metronome on or off. Next to that, this big slider is the main volume. And then there's a little slider over here, and what this will do is this will shrink or expand your timeline so that you can either get in close to it or expand it out for whatever reason. So that's kind of like the basic idea of the layout of the GarageBand interface. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is come over here to our instrument file, and I'm going to make a drum loop first. So let's go ahead and choose a drum set, and we can go ahead, yes, continue. So right now we're at the East drum kit. I chose East Bay. I'm just gonna close this down just a little bit. There we go. So now we've got our East Bay kit, and over on the controller we have two banks, bank A, bank B. If we come into red bank, there's our kick, snappy snare, rim shot, kind of a wet snare, closed hat, another snare, some claps, and another bass drum. So that's pretty cool. And then we come over here to bank B, or the green bank, whatever. Tom-toms. Right? Crash, a ride. And our closed and open hi-hat. So for now, I think I'm just going to start with a hi-hat sound. I like this drum sound, so we'll stick with that. So I'm going to keep the count in. I want that, and just for now, I do want the metronome. All right, so just going to come up here, going to press record. It's going to give me 4 count, and these are the 2 pads that I'm going to use right now. So here we go. All right, so that's pretty good, but I'm still recording. All right, so that was cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to switch banks to where my bass drum and other stuff is, and I'm just going to add the kick and the snare. Going to keep it real simple, and I'm just going to go ahead and add that on top of the little hi-hat stuff that I got going on. So here we go. All right, so that was pretty good. It's not perfect though, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and go down to my quantize, and I am going to quantize it to the 16th, and that should take care of that. Cool. So we've got a little drum beat, and what I'm going to do next, I'm going to add some bass, but I want to take this 4 bars that I just created, and I want to actually make it 8 bars so that my bass player has something to work with. So I'm going to extend the loop out to 8 bar. I'm going to highlight what I just recorded, hit Command C to copy it, and move my playhead to the end of the selection, hit V, and there it is, and it should be seamless. All right, so we've got ourselves a nice little drum beat. Yes, it is a little bit dry, but that's okay. We're going to spice it up in just a little while. So right now, next thing we need to do is add some bass. So I just want to get rid of that for now. I'm going to hit the plus button up there. I'm going to add another MIDI channel. Hit create. All right, and here we go. That's our next channel. Right now it's on just a classic piano sound, but I want a bass. So let's go over to the bass and fingerstyle. What does that sound like? There's a ton of sounds in here. I like the upright studio bass. There's also all of these, if you go into the synth and into bass, there's all sorts of like cool, electronic sounding basses, which I do use a lot. But for now, I'm going to keep to a little bit of a, shoot, what am I talking about? I'm going to stay to more of an acoustic instrument sound. Okay, so we'll just go back to bass. I'm going to go back to that upright studio bass because I like it. Alright, and since I really don't know what I'm going to play, I'm going to rehearse a little bit. I'm not going to press record. I'm just going to press play and let it loop in over again, and I'm going to see if I can come up with a little bass line on the fly for you guys. It's loud. I'm just gonna mess around with something. This isn't really going anywhere beyond this tutorial, so that's cool. I'm gonna just go ahead and record that. I don't want the metronome on. I do want the 4 count. All right, so let's give it a shot. Yeah. So just in case you just missed what I did there, I'm still recording. Okay, it's still recording. But what I did was I messed around with the volume a little bit, and you can see when I do that, the strip turns red because I just recorded what I didn't record any notes or anything like that. But what I did record was the volume change. And I'll go back and fix that later, because I'm kind of goofing with it now. But it's a neat thing to be able to do that, and I'll show you a little bit later where that comes into play. But you just need to be mindful of that if you're still recording and you change some of these settings, you're going to record those settings, in real time. It's automation is what it is. But now I've stopped it, and it's not going to do anything. But if I add reverb at this point, it's going to take up the whole channel. Alright, it's not like if I hit record and then messed around with the reverb button where it's going to bring the reverb on and off. I think you get that point. Okay. So, enough of that. Let's go ahead and add a synth channel. Not a synth channel, a keyboard channel. So we're going to go to plus, MIDI, create, and let's find a vintage organ. How about lighter shade? I don't like that so much. Let's go to the jazz organ, because I do like the jazz organ. And I'm going to just do a little bit of housekeeping real quick. You hit Option C, and you get these colors down here. And now I can come up here and I can change the color of the channel so I can see it a little bit better. This is super helpful when you have a lot of channels going on, a lot of tracks going on. It's just a good habit to get into. So I do that. And I've got my jazz organ. And let's just, you know, again, we're going to rehearse it because I'm just kind of making it up on the fly. So let's see if we can do that. So I'm just going to press play. I'm not going to record yet. Yeah, that's cool. All right, just going to keep it simple. I'm going to turn all the volume back up so I can hear what's going on. And I should be able to remember that. Here's record. I messed it up. Get rid of that. Try it again. Alright, so that sounds pretty good. Now check this out. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm still recording, right? And I'm going to bring the volume up in a second, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to goof around with these sliders down here, alright? Which is going to change the sound of the jazz organ, but I'm going to do it while I'm recording, so it's going to record those changes. It's going to automate those changes. You see, I've got it. Just going to leave the volume alone. So now we've got all that going on, and I'm going to give the whole thing just a little bit of reverb. Alright, cool. So now we've got drums, bass, and a little bit of jazz organ. I think we need percussion, so let's add one more track. Actually, it might be more than one. We'll see how it goes. So we've got that, and let's see, MIDI, create, and let's change the color of it because I'm like that. Turn it to fuchsia, cool. And how about percussion? This time I'm gonna do a studio patch. All right, and whoops, let's choose one actually. So this is cool because you come up to the pads and you can play the stuff. So I'm gonna find me some bongos. And these are fun. This I don't even like to rehearse. I just kind of play it, right? So I'm just gonna hit record, and we're gonna record some bongos live on top of this whole thing. And I'm just gonna keep playing it until I like it, all right? Check it out. One more time. All right, that was cool. Let's add one more percussion. So we're going to add MIDI, create, and we're going to go back to percussion, performance patches, and let's see. I know that there's a cool one in here. Where is it? Blocks and bells. I think this is the one. Yeah, check this out. Oh, okay. I like that. Let's try. Let's see what we can come up with. Let's try that again. Okay, let's try just those two. Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple. All right, cool. And there you have it. We've got a little editor. Well, it turned out to be 5-part, but it's actually 4-part because there's, percussion. But hey, look, again, if you like the video, please like, please subscribe. If there's anything you'd like to, check out, you want me to show you what to do on GarageBand or whatever, leave a comment. I'm John. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.